I would say that I am a person of many hats. I am a writer, a children's book author, a prophetic writer, also a minister of the gospel, a publisher, so many things, a new grandmother, which was the best thing to ever happen to me. So I wear many hats. And so the biggest thing is to share the need of allowing God to perfect love within believers. We as believers, we cannot effectively minister the gospel. We cannot effectively bring deliverance, preach, teach any of the fivefold without perfect love. Now, when I wrote, in terms of the story that I wrote in Unshakable Faith, there was a time where I knew that I could, deliver someone, cast out devils, what have you. But it's not my something that I look for, right? It's the gift of God, and I used it whenever He desired me to use it. But I realized that once I got over my fear, then I could effectively help people because sometimes you come into contact with people that need help. They don't ask for it. This person, their wife happens to reach out for the help, but some people don't know they need that help. So if you're not walking in the perfect love, and what I mean by that is that your love for the soul must be greater than any fear that you have. You have to want to see someone free. And it's easy to judge someone according to their works. But when you examine the soul and you realize that there's something else working behind, there should be a pull on you to free that person, free them from the torment. Because we just think people are evil just because they choose to be. No, there's something else working behind the scenes. So, in terms of perfecting the love inside of me, which is something God did, I couldn't do it myself. But once He perfected that love in me, and that was over the course of experiences, So what He does is your experiences, whatever He allows to come into your life that puts you in a place of humbleness and a place where you say, "Oh my God, this was happening to me. How many other people need the help that you just gave me, Father?" So that was my biggest reason for writing about that. Was that as a believer, especially in the fivefold, perfect. You have to perfect your love to effectively help any soul that you're encountering. As I said before, first and foremost, of course, yes, ministry. I do a lot of outreach, social media, um, bringing fresh revelation whenever God releases it. First and foremost. In terms of just my life, like I said, we have a publishing house, so many of books that are being released this year, many new releases. I have a book, You're Not Here by Accident, and the character, it's a children's book, and we brought that character to life as a plush toy. So we're working on getting that plush toy out to as many children as possible. Um, just doing what I love. God gave me the gift of writing so many years ago. I started writing children's Bible storybooks, and how He does it is He gives it to me in a rhyme. So the whole book is a poem. You know, I've written about Job, I've written about Adam and Eve, Ezekiel, and the dry bones. I just recently, probably about a year ago, finished Jonah, but I have not had it illustrated or bound yet. But I'm just gonna keep writing and keep doing what God, has instilled in me to do and leave behind for the next generation. So many projects. Absolutely. So the easiest way is Facebook. and you can literally look up my name, Nicole Deans. And from there, you can find my other social media. I do a lot with TikTok, not so much with YouTube or Instagram, but there's a few things there. But Facebook and then TikTok. Yeah, so I do want to say to anyone who God has given a gift and a talent that the world needs. I don't care if it's singing or writing, sewing, cooking, and it could be deeper things. I'm just being very basic. It's important that you finish those things. I know that the world is saying it's the end, it's the end and the end. Jesus said, no man knows the day or the hour. It's very important that you do the work that he said. Don't be distracted because you're building something for the next generation, right? And yes, it's scary. Yes, you're by yourself. No, people are not going to say, oh, I understand it. I think it's a great idea. No, you're not going to get that. But it's a God idea, right? So I would take a billion things that God said over one thing that man gives me to do. This is a time where God is clearing a path for those who are called, right? And when I say called, I'm not talking about ministry, but you're called to do a thing for Him. You're called to do a thing for Him. We have the Gospel of Luke, the Gospel of Matthew, Mark, and all those letters that Paul wrote because he did what God said. If you don't do it, the next generation won't have something to reflect on, right? They can't, well, you can go back to the Bible, but they need something now to reflect on to show that God is still doing what He's always done. He's still the same God. He still visits, He still gives you your ideas, your dreams. He still enters into covenant with you for specific things, right? He comes into covenant with you for specific things. And I've seen so many people lay down their ideas, they lay down their work because they don't have the support from people. But when you go out into the world, you'll find your people. You'll find your people. Here, I live in Mississippi in a town called Columbus, but I'm from West Point, Mississippi. 90% of my work comes from the United States. It does not come from my state. People that know me, people that reverence me, people that support me are not people that I know, right? But it allowed me when I went out and I did the thing that God says to do, challenging everything that we think could be successful, should be successful, believing on God and watch Him do exactly what He says that He will do. This is a time to complete your work, not a time to put it down. He didn't give it to you for it to not bring forth fruit. So pick your work up and finish it.